Hi, Mark and Tamil Kenny with Think Multifamily. We're here to talk to you today about step 12, raising money. Mark, if I were trying to raise money for an apartment investment, can I go out on the highway and put one big billboard that says, need money, need investors, great investment opportunity?
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
And I'll go into details when you can do that. A lot of people have this misconception that's against SEC regulations. We have people that even been to our event before saying you can't do that, and it's pretty simple. It's not just us saying it. You know, in 2013, Reg D 506C came out, so I'm going to put that on there. So don't take my word for it. I'll go look it up. You have 506C and you have 506B. We'll talk about in a moment. 506C, the main thing is you can do exactly what you said. You can go put a billboard. I want money, but it has to, and you can general advertise, right? What are you doing? It has to be accredited only. So the investors have to be accredited only.
So if I say I'm accredited, is that good enough
No.
to invest in your deal?
It is not. It used to be, but it no longer is. You have to get third-party validation. So it's real easy to do that. So don't get hung up on that. It's cheap and easy. So you can do 506C, advertise wherever you want. General advertising is allowed. Accredited only investors, which we talked about in previous steps, what accreditation means, right? And third-party validation, and you're good. And again, don't go look it up online. SEC website directly would tell you that.
Well, let's stop for a moment and tell our audience what the SEC is, the Security and Exchange Commission.
Right, so SEC they have their federal government, right? And they want to protect people to make sure people aren't ripping people off when they're raising money, right? That's the whole objective. So we follow, and anyone that raises money needs to follow the SEC regulations. That's when we talked about the previous step about investor documents like PPMs and things like that. That's required to do that.
Right.
So we have to have certain rules we follow. It's Reg D, 506C is one, and 506B is the other. And again, the 506C came out in 2013, so it's nothing
been out
new.
for a while.
So people
Yeah.
that don't know that are a little behind the times.
Okay.
506B, I can take non-accredited. Okay? They don't have to be accredited. Limited to 35 only. I can't go above 35 non-accredited. Okay, so I can take as many accredited as I want to, but limited to 35 non-accredited investors.
Now, if I take in accredited investors into this opportunity, do I have to get the third-party validation?
No, you do not.
So they could just say they're accredited, and that doesn't count against my 35.
That's correct. And again, I want to preface this that people should do their own research and talk to their attorney, SEC attorney, feel comfortable, but you do not have to do any third-party validation on that. Now, in order for a non-accredited to invest with you in a 506B, is to have a substantive, pre-existing relationship. Sounds very clear, right?
Right, not?
Relationship. So, people say, well, what does that mean? Well, good question. SEC doesn't define any time frame on this. So, you get your own research going, talk to people that specialize this to see what you feel comfortable, how long you have to know them. But pre-existing, you could argue, well, I met him today and I'm having an investment tomorrow. Is that pre-existing? Well, it is. Does that meet the SEC regulations? Well, that's a good question. They don't define what that is. And the investor on the 506B also has to be sophisticated, which we talked about previously in another step. We talked about credited investor versus sophisticated. Basically, it means they understand the risk involved with the investment.
Right.
Those are the main differences between 506B, 506C. So again, you can generally advertise here, accredited only. Third-party validation, 506B, there is no general advertising allowed at all.
Right.
And this is per deal. So I could do 506B on one deal and 506C on the other deal, however I want to do it, but it's per deal.
Okay. So if you can advertise your deals using this 506C, but you can't advertise your deals using 506B, how do I go out and raise money for an apartment complex that I have that I'm trying to buy?
So a couple ways. One, I'd say if you're part of a group, that's a good place to start. But I would say don't become dependent on a group, because something could happen. You could leave the group. You could leave the location, where it might be.
Right.
So, but going to events, perfect. Go to events, meet people. Go to meetups. Be online. Could be Bigger Pockets or other sources we talked about and other steps as well. Just get out there. Don't think you're going to raise money by sitting at home. The fact is, you're going to have to get off your butt and you're going to have to do some work to raise money, and find other people that maybe can help you. Right. So there's some rules also around this, how you compensate people that raise money for you to be aware of. That's the other one, called a finder's fee. So those are other things you need to be aware of, which we'll talk about further in our steps.
Okay. So what else about raising money do you think our listeners would like to know about?
I would say if you haven't raised money before, don't guess how much you think you can raise. I'll ask people, well, how much do you think you can raise? They haven't raised before. The answer I really expect to say is, well, I have no idea, haven't done it before. Or I think maybe I could, but I don't know.
Right.
Versus someone that says, we had an example, right, where someone wanted to help us on a deal, and we're like, okay, come on in. They could raise, so they could raise like $3 million. They raise like $150,000, a little bit short.
Right.
So, getting out there and, talking to people, understand what they want, and it's gonna take time potentially to do that. So don't try to raise, $5 million in our first deal unless it's something you do already.
Okay. So, any more topics specifically to raising money that our investors might like to know about? Ways that investors themselves can find money they already have to put into our investment. Maybe they don't have the cash. Maybe there's money somewhere else.
We go through this more too in our training, but there's several other ways. Without going, you have 401ks, you have QRPs, you have IRAs, and you need to be careful all these things. You have life insurance policy, infinite banking. We go through all that in detail. The one thing I would say, just in general with IRA funds, for people to be aware of it if you're going to invest, is to understand that your IRA can be taxed. People are like, no, it can't. It's an IRA. And, well, yes, it can. It's something called UDFI, unrelated debt finance income. So again, talk to a CPA about that.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's a bad investment, but there are ways around that. So 401ks, QRPs, we talk about all those different ways. It's great for the person investing, but also for the person trying to raise money. If I talk to you and you say, well, I don't have any money, and I kind of ask you a list of questions and find out, oh, you have some sort of policy, whatever it might be, that you can pull money out, or 401k. So there are definitely ways for people to invest that they don't even think about.
Right. Well, that's great. I think that's all we have for now on step 12, raising money. Stay tuned for step 13. Bye for now.
Bye.